Hello and welcome back to more Pokemon Sun and Moon How To Competitive. This is part 2 of the team building guide, and once again I'm joined with mod of my Discord server and my stream, SirAkihiro. Say hi again.
I'm her favorite.
Pretty much, because he provides me with 99.9% of the Pokemon I use in my battles, so needless to say, he's quite important. So,
you okay with me saying that?
I mean, I wouldn't say you're wrong, so it's not really incorrect, so I can't really argue with it too much. Alright, so, in the last episode, if you missed it, first of all, you should go and watch it, because that's just nice. You should watch part 1 before part 2, but in case you need a recap, we went over a couple of teams that I've already used before on some of my videos, and kind of broke down sort of each of the sets of each of those Pokemon and their role in the team as a whole. And so in this episode, we're gonna go over the sort of the process of putting together a team, starting from the ground up. So we're gonna go ahead and go into Pokemon Showdown, which is something you can get for free. If you haven't tried it already, you should go and use it. It's good for putting together teams to sort of lay them out so you have an idea of what each one is, and you can also take that team and test it out in battle simulations, so you can kind of see if a team's gonna work or not from the start, you know, before you actually go through all the work of actually putting the team together in your game. You can do it here and sort of see how it's gonna work. Alright, so let's take this from the beginning. Usually what we do when we put together a team here is we go over and choose a centerpiece Pokemon. So like we saw the two teams, we went for Mega Venusaur on one of my teams and Mega Charizard Y on another team, and that was sort of, they were each sort of the centerpiece of their teams, and we built support around that. And my phone is ringing.
Blooper!
I don't know, do we cut that out? I guess I could maybe cut the, no, it's fine.
Let's go raw.
It's gonna, let's just do it. It'll be more entertaining that way. Can I shut it off from here? I can't really shut it off from here either. Well, it'll go away eventually.
Go raw.
But so anyway, as you might be able to tell from what's already viewable on here, we're gonna start and have Nidoking be the centerpiece of this team that we're gonna put together. And so, SirAkihiro, I'm gonna let you take it from here as far as what we're gonna run on this Nidoking.
Oh god, here we go. I've been trying to think about the best way to actually explain myself with doing this, because a lot of people call me out for doing it, and I'm like, well, it worked. Alright. Basically, we're making this thing jolly.
Alright, so let's go in here. Wait, where'd it go? Jolly?
You could just put a plus sign and a minus sign in the right places.
This is true, you can do that as well.
And what we're going to be doing is maxing out its speed and attack. And you guys already know where this is going. With the ability Sheer Force, you can have all of the punches and its stat Poison Jab. Because, I don't know if you guys actually pay attention to this, but a lot of people actually run Special Nidoking, but I generally run Physical. Not because it's anything I'd want to do, it's just that I just really enjoy the Physical set on Nidoking. I think it's a lot more fun, I enjoy using it. And, it catches a lot of people off guard, because generally you're supposed to be special, but you're physical with the same special set, but you're not special.
Okay. And by the way, if you guys heard me if you kind of heard the volume kind of go up and down, I'm just trying to adjust the volume levels to make sure everything is audible. So sorry if that caught you off guard. Anyway, so we've got Sheer Force and we've got a Jolly Nature here, with max attack and max speed. And where'd you want to put the remaining EVs?
Special defense.
Alright.
Because you're just a tiny bit weaker on that side.
Mm-hmm.
May as well.
Okay.
And the moves were Poison Jab, Ice Punch, Thunder Punch, and Fire Punch.
So obviously got a lot of coverage here, and with Sheer Force just increasing the damage that you'll do. So
yeah,
you can't...
holding a Life Orb, you don't take any Life Orb damage.
Oh right, so Life Orb here. That is quite an exploit, actually, when I think about it. It's pretty
you didn't
crazy.
Know about the Life Orb?
No, I knew about it, but like every time I think about that Sheer Force Life Orb, I'm just like, oh, that's crazy.
It is crazy. And I really hope none of my friends are watching this video, because they want to hit me harder every time I say that's crazy, because I say it so often.
It's like you say that's crazy so often. That's crazy how often you say that's crazy.
It is crazy.
So yeah, basically you're trading the ability to status your opponent as a secondary effect for extra damage, and also not having to take Life Orb recoil, which is awesome because I have very much a love-hate relationship with Life Orb because of the fact of that recoil damage. Like, it's so good, but you have to deal with taking damage. Usually, if you have a Life Orb Pokemon, it's good to have maybe a recovery option, just from my point of view of it. But yeah, it's good if you want to have something that just does huge amounts of damage. Okay, so let's get some Pokemon here to support this guy.
Galvantula is a pretty good Pokemon to support it. Not because it's... well, it just takes care of two of its main weaknesses. It also gets the move Sticky Web, which actually supports Nidoking speed. If you weren't paying attention, it's lower than base 90, which is not really the best thing for a sweeper. So let's give it that. What you looking for?
Wait, was I gonna add anything yet?
Yeah, Sticky Web.
Oh right.
We're doing this raw.
Well, I keep getting distracted by the sound, because I'm really... If you watch almost any of my videos, you kind of know I get this like pet peeve when the audio balance doesn't come out the way I want it. And unfortunately, the way I have to record, for the most part, I don't have separate audio channels for a lot of things, so I can't go in after the fact and adjust it to my liking. And even when I can adjust it to my liking, I always go back and forth about what I like to do, so I commonly get distracted with that. So let's go ahead and continue here.
You also want to give it Thunder. I know a lot of people usually do like Volt Switch or Thunderbolt, or maybe even Discharge, but since you have Compound Eyes, it will raise your accuracy on Thunder, making it, I'm pretty sure 95.
Yeah, it's something like, it's something really good. Like, because I think Thunder has, what, 70% accuracy? That's pretty similar to the powder moves, and like Sleep Powder, Poison Powder. And I know with Compound Eyes, like on a Butterfree, you have, I think it might be more than a 95% chance. So I think with 70, it's No,
I mean, it doesn't get to 100 because you can still miss a Thunder.
No, I know.
So
what I mean is like, Sleep Powder, it starts out at 75 and it goes to something, I think it's between 95 and 99. So this has got to be about 95, I think. It says multiplied by 1.3. So, we'll do the... Actually, I can do the math right here. Why not?
Okay.
Alright, so 1.3 times 70. 91% accuracy. So pretty darn good, actually. I think that makes it worth it over Thunderbolt.
Yeah.
Even though I did say in the previous episode that I liked Ice Punch... I did say in the previous episode I liked Ice Punch over Icicle Crash for the extra accuracy, but generally if you're above 90 accuracy, it's a worthwhile move. Okay, so going on, what else do we put on this thing?
You also want to put on either... Okay, now you can go either way on this one. You can either go Giga Drain or Energy Ball. I know a lot of you thinking about it like, Giga Drain? Really? Because I get this a lot too. Like, a lot of people don't really expect me to run Giga Drain, but it's like my main source of recovery.
Yeah, I mean, it's good to have a recovery option.
Has something broken. because I usually want Focus Sash on this just to like guarantee my web. But if my sash is not like used up, I'm going to use Giga Drain or something.
Mm-hmm. Well, why don't we put that in there for now? Wait, is that it? Wait, what happened? Oh, I don't know what I was typing that messed it up, but we got it now. Okay, so, and move number 4?
Bug Buzz.
Yep. That's what I thought. So we have 2 good stab moves, we got a recovery option, and we have a good hazard there to deal with things and slow things down to support Nidoking. Also, this gives you an answer for water types and psychic types, which can annoy Nidoking.
I mean, this thing will also give you the opportunity to mess up Swamperts, because that's also a threat to this thing. Because if a Swampert comes in, it can just wall you. And that's not good. So that's why I have Giga Drain or Energy Ball on my sets usually. Like, I try to take precautions just so I can deal with certain things. Like, you're supposed to be running HP Ice over any Grass type move, but Swampert's still a thing.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, I'd rather just switch out on the threat that I'm not supposed to have HP Ice on.
And what was the, let's see, what was the spread on this one?
Oh, commit max speed, max special attack.
Alright, the pretty obvious one there.
Yeah, because you don't really need any HP or defense investments when you're running Focus Sash.
Yeah, I mean, you can put the right Focus Sash too. I forgot to type that down too. And the remaining 4 can go into, I guess, whatever, right? Like anything defensive.
Whichever one you want, really. Like,
yeah.
Which one are you more afraid of? A special attack or a physical attack?
I don't know. Usually, when all things are equal, and it does have equal defense and special defense, usually I would go for HP.
Yeah, same. But you're running Focus Sash, so like any investment would be pointless.
True. Well, let's see. I mean, something this thing has to worry about rocks, I guess, or fire. Rocks tend to be more physical, fire tends to be more special, so really, again, could go either way.
Yeah, because this thing will still die to either or pretty easily.
Not a good defense, just get another point.
Because why not?
That's just whatever you want to do. Okay, what do we want to put next?
Our next Mon is, of course, going to be one of our walls, because we really got 2 attackers, well, mostly for the most part, because this thing is just a set up sticky web support team.
But you have a physical attacker and a special attacker, which it's good to have at least one of each, and then. But
I genuinely like to have 2 of each.
Yeah, I mean, if you can.
If you lose one, then gonna be an issue.
Right, but you want to make sure you have something that can hit both on the physical side and on the special side, because sometimes it's easy if you're not really thinking about the makeup of your team. It's really easy to just be like, oh, I like all these Pokemon, they're all really good, and the types all work out, and then you realize, oh, they're all physical. And the same thing can happen with special, although I tend to like using special attacks, but I found, especially in Alola, a lot of the new Pokemon, like, there's too many good physical ones. At least that was my experience. And so if you can have a physical attacker and a special attacker, at least one of each, and then same thing kind of goes on the defensive side. You want something that can take physical hits and something that can take special hits, or if you're really lucky, you can have something that can take both. Alright, so what do we got here for this one?
Next we're going to be picking up Hitmontop. I know a lot of you are thinking in your mind, Hitmontop, this man must be crazy. But there's actually a really, really good reason why Hitmontop is on this team.
This one has leftovers, right?
Basically, this is going to be Rapid Spinner. And it has Intimidate, which is also one of the main reasons why it's on this team. Because there's no other real way to help with certain type advantages and all that. And it resists Dark, which one of our members are going to be scared of later. And on this set, we have Rapid Spin, Brick Break, Toxic, and Protect. Why Brick Break? Is because a lot of the times, especially now that Aurora Veil is now a thing, people are going to be trying to set that up.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't want that. You don't like that. So use Brick Break to break it. Like, this set was originally going to have close combat on it, but then I thought about it, and it's like, why would you want to lose your defenses, though?
Mm-hmm.
We could just have Brick Break, and then make them lose their defenses, quote-unquote, if they set them up.
Right.
And the Toxic is just there to like, put a timer on certain Pokemon that you don't want to stay around a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if there's a mon setting up, you want to Toxic it, make it switch out sooner. You can just Protect stall it, too. With a Toxic. There's a lot of things you can do with this mon while it's there.
Mm-hmm. So we have a bulky set, so what's the EV spread we want to run on this?
Max defense and max HP. Was 4 in attack. Because if you're going to be using Brick Break, you may as well do some sort of damage.
Yeah, get an extra point there. So when so usually a set on a dedicated wall is you tend to max out HP and then max out the defensive stat that you want to specialize in. And depending on that Pokemon's base stats, what they're stronger in, you can kind of make the call. I mean, Hitmontop's defense and special defense are pretty similar base. It's got slightly better special defense, but it's really not that big of a difference, so yeah.
Now
Alright.
for our next member...
Oh wait, is this one bold? Wait,
it's not bold.
No,
it's Impish.
Right, Impish. Right, bold's the one that lowers
Did
attack.
you get to put a nature on it?
No, I just hadn't put it yet. I forgot. I mixed up. Sometimes I mix up Timid and Jolly and Bold and Impish because they're like the same, but one's for physical and one's for special. I'm getting better at remembering what all the natures are, though, I have to say.
Yeah, you just gotta start thinking about it, because Pokemon has a whole bunch of possibilities, especially for each individual mon. Because if you watch Pimp Night, a certain YouTuber, he does a lot of sets that you wouldn't think would work, but they do.
Yeah,
apparently.
he does, a lot of times he'll do sets that are intentionally bad, but he uses them in a way that it works.
And that makes me upset, because I would have never thought that would work.
Well, it's like one of those things you don't see coming, which is like, again, like I mentioned in the previous episode, I want to see someone do special Alolan Marowak and abuse Lightning Rod.
I mean, it's possible, but anyway.
Alright, so let's move on to the fourth Pokemon on the team.
Which will be Gengar. Now, this Gengar's main and sole purpose is to mess, or if you want to say bully, Skarmory, or any other setup mon. You could go all-out attacks on it, but this is a more troll set on it that you can just bully people with. What you want to do is give it the Choice Specs or Choice Scarf. It doesn't really matter which one.
Let's Scarf it, just for the heck of it.
Sure. And for its first move, you want to give it Trick. And then for its second move, give it Taunt. If you Trick Taunt a Pokemon, you instantly cripple that Pokemon, especially if it's a Pokemon like Skarmory. Because sometimes they run Brave Bird, sometimes they don't. And they don't have any attacking moves at that point.
Right. Also, I was thinking about it, you trick a choice item onto them, even if they can hit you, you have a chance to disable their attack.
But that's another thing. You can put Disable on it. I hadn't even thought about that.
But I mean like but you have Curse Body now on Gengar. But yeah, you could do it just by flat out doing Disable and guarantee that you disable their only move.
Exactly. This Gengar is only meant to bully people. if you have any sort of human feeling towards anybody in a game like this, then please feel free not to use it.
Alright, so what do we need for the rest of the moveset then?
Well, its other two attacking moves are its only good stab moves, which are Shadow Ball and Sludge Bomb.
Makes sense.
Would be Sludge Wave, but apparently that's a no-no in Pokemon Sun and Moon now. I don't know why they removed it, but
Why is that?
I don't know. You gotta ask them. You gotta ask. You gotta go ahead and ask Game Freak why they made it so Gengar can't learn Sludge Wave in this gen.
But you can, if you bank one over, it can have it, right?
Yeah, but I don't know. But if you want to use this thing in like certain places, then it can't have Sludge Wave. Like online, for example, on Battle Spot, it has to be bred.
So now, would this thing run a set with bulk, or would you give it the sweeper set?
Oh, just max special attack, max speed.
Okay, still sweeper. I mean, so
Yeah.
if you don't,
One I have here have choice specs, just because it's going to be doing a lot of damage if you decide not to trick. But
yeah,
it's still a pretty mean set to have.
yeah. I mean, you're still gonna destroy things if you don't decide to trick things.
Yeah, the only main issue with this particular Gengar is that he only has Sludge Bomb and Shadow Ball, so you won't be having access to Focus Blast or any of the other moves that you want to use. This thing stops walls. That's all this Gengar is good for. It stops walls.
Just messing with things.
Just stop walls.
All right. So, now would you run, since this thing is scarfed, would you run Timid or Modest on this set?
Timid.
Okay, that's what I figured. All right. So, with that said, we can move on to the 5th Pokemon.
Which will be Tapu...
Was it Fini? Yep, okay.
I almost called it Tapu Lele. I don't know what's wrong with me.
The other feminine one.
The only other feminine one that's pink.
Right.
This Tapu Fini will be your defogger. Why do we have 2 hazard removers? I don't know. Why not?
Well, because, as we mentioned in the previous episode, Rapid Spin can be blocked. And it gives you sort of an extra option. Because hazards can win or lose games, so having a second option to get rid of them is never a bad thing.
Yeah. And what this Tapu Fini has is its leftovers. And you don't have to run it, but it's still nice to run it. Like, you could run a terrain extender, just so things on your team cannot get status.
Right.
You can.
And depending on, well, go ahead, finish that.
Actually, no, because I actually might have just rambled on for no reason at that point.
All right. Well, so, and just remember, we kind of mentioned it in the last episode. You can have certain instances where you get on Battle Spot. Maybe just Battle Spot in general, I don't remember for sure, because it's just, I haven't really gone in and looked at the rules, but depending on what rule set you play with, you might not be allowed duplicate items on your Pokemon. So, here we already have leftovers on Hitmontop, so if you're in a situation where you can't use duplicate items, and you can't use leftovers also on Tapu Fini, you could run the Terrain Extender instead. That was about it. So what else are we running here?
Okay, now before I get into the actual moveset, I just really hope that whoever is watching this video and wants to make a similar team, I really hope that you have a really good nature on your Tapu Fini, like calm or maybe modest. Modest would work too, maybe even bold.
Yeah, I caught my Tapu Fini. I caught my Tapu Fini in my game before I thought about soft resetting for natures, and I got an adamant one. So yay me.
Do not be banana.
I got like the worst possible, but you know what? My Tapu Lele that I've used on one of my VGC teams, I lucked out. I was not trying to get a good nature, but I got modest and I got like it was already maxed out in some of the best. I forget which IVs were maxed out, but I got really good IVs. Even the ones that weren't maxed out were already pretty solid. So sometimes you're lucky and sometimes you're not. Anyway.
Like my Tapu Lele, I remember my Tapu Lele. I had one maxed out IV, which was in one of the ones I needed it in, and then one in an IV that I didn't really want at all. Nobody likes a max attack Tapu Lele. Nobody likes that. Cause now I can get foul played.
Yeah.
Anyway,
too bad there's not like a way to lower your IVs in like for that situation.
I wish.
Maybe in the next gen. Okay, so let's move on with what we're gonna do here with Tapu Fini.
Okay, so what you want to do is give it 208 HP.
Getting real specific this time.
Yes, because you actually want to put 44 in speed, because you're going to be running taunt, and you want to outspeed certain setters. If your Gengar somehow fails, or not really want to, or if you don't want to show off your Gengar at all.
You said 44, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And you want to have Taunt, Nature's Madness, Surf, and Defog as your moves. And while she's typing out these moves, I want to tell you that you also want to have max special defense, and hopefully you're running Calm. If you're not running Calm, you can just swap that over to your defense if you're running Bold instead.
So would you put the remaining 4, throw it into special attack, throw it into defense?
Special attack.
All right.
Because you have Surf, you may as well do
a little more
stab Surf.
Yeah.
And plus your defense is still fairly high. Without the 4 in it.
So I was thinking, so far we have 3 purple Pokemon on this team.
Team purple.
Yep.
Anyway.
Alright, so now for the 6th Pokemon.
Now the 6th Pokemon is a Pokemon that I really want to talk about. Tyranitar is gonna be the 6th Pokemon. And it has a set that not everyone will agree with.
Here we go. You
want to Choice Scarf this Tyranitar, and one of its moves is Stealth Rock. Now, there's a good reason behind this. It's only there to trick your opponent into believing that you are not choiced. Once you give your Stealth Rock, switch out, because 99% of the time when they're facing a Tyranitar, they're going to switch out into something that can take it out easily. Once you do that, they will not have any idea what item you are, especially when you decided not to show them. Its ability, of course, would be Sandstream, because you get the special defense boost in the sand as both of your Nidoking and your Tyranitar. And the moves you're going to have on it will be Crunch / Pursuit. It can be either or. You can have Earthquake, and you can have Stone Edge or Rock Slide. It doesn't really matter.
So wait, did I miss one? Stealth Rock, Crunch, Stone Edge,
Earthquake. Now, you can either swap Crunch out for Pursuit and Pursuit Trap a Pokemon, which a lot of Pokemon do not like to be in that situation. Because say that you wall a certain Pokemon, and they have the ability to switch out. If you Pursuit Trap them, they're not getting out without taking unnecessary damage.
Also, so, I don't know how often you see Pursuit run competitively anyway, so it could catch someone off guard. I
mean, it's actually a really threatening move. Because imagine switching out, and before switching out you get Crunch for no reason, and then you lose then you can easily lose your Pokemon
Right.
for no reason. Just because you thought it was a good idea to switch out, you lose a certain Pokemon like Alakazam. You could have swapped into something that could have tanked the crunch easier.
Or if you had something that was, I don't know, sashed or sturdied, and you decide to switch them out to save them.
Exactly. You break their sash. You can mess up a lot of people with Pursuit. I don't see it as often as I want to, but it's still pretty scary whenever it's seen or revealed.
Wait, there's a move called Purify? I did not know that.
Yeah, it's a move that only that stupid Cucumber can learn. Kukumuku.
Oh. What does it do? Sorry to be on a tangent, but...
It basically... I don't even know what it does.
Okay.
But I know, like, off memory, it does something stupid.
Well, we'll look it up on Bulbapedia at some point. Alright.
Maybe after this video.
Yeah, so, okay, so now, last thing we have here is what set to run. Or what spread to run, I guess. Max
Speed, max attack.
Alright.
Jaw.
Looks like, and Smogon Showdown. I was reading the Smogon analysis button there.
Well, you can go either way on it, to be honest.
But Showdown kind of will suggest, based on your item and moveset, will suggest a spread for you, and that is the same thing. Max speed, max attack, gives 4 in special defense, kind of take advantage of that Sandstorm boost, and Jolly Nature for extra speed.
No, this because he's not typically fast enough to take full advantage of not being Jolly when he's scarfed. So, like, the plus speed would just help you even better.
Yeah. Okay, so we have here the 6 Pokemon now. So let's see, we have 2 heavy hitters physically. We have 2 Pokemon that could hit pretty well specially. Well, and a third one that's like combination tank and offense. Just a flat out tank here. Got a hazard setter, got 2 hazard removers. Got just a troll in general, and I did swap the item to choice specs since we have choice scarf on the Tyranitar. Again, if you're in a format that prevents you from using duplicate items. And I guess that's about it. Most of the roles of these Pokemon should be fairly easy to understand. Is there anything else you have to say about them?
This team, I try to make as simple as I possibly can, with the best explanation I can possibly give for each Pokemon. I've tried to make it as simple as possible for anyone to use. The only thing I have to say about it, it's a little bit more offensive than I thought it would be, but it's actually a pretty solid team if you put it on paper.
And again, you could always, if you're unsure about a set you put on a team, or if you're debating between, like, we had a lot of Pokemon where we were saying, oh, you could either run this move or that move. You can test them out in some simulated battles on Showdown, see what your feel is for, you know, that move or that set, and you might decide, hey, I want to swap out this move, or I want to try this nature instead, change the EV spread a little bit. Then you can have a better idea of what you want to run when you actually decide to build your team in the game. And it'll save you some time that way, because it's really easy to just tweak things right here in Showdown and try them out.
Exactly. Or, like, if you see a Pokemon that you don't want to use, like, if you see Hitmontop and you're like, I know a Pokemon that can do way better than Hitmontop, then please use Hitmontop. You don't have to use Pokemon we're using here. Yeah,
the main purpose of building this team in the video was just to give an example of how you go about building a team. Not to say that this is the best team or that these are the best sets to run on these Pokemon, but if you take a look at trying to build a team, there's certain, rules of thumb. You want a physical attacker, a special attacker, maybe 2 of each. You want something that can take physical hits, something that can take special hits. You want a hazard setter if possible. You want a hazard remover if possible. And then working within those general guidelines, there's no right or wrong answer, but working within those guidelines and based on each Pokemon you add to the team, trying to pick other Pokemon that complement that first Pokemon well. So this was sort of just a look into the stream of consciousness, the thought process behind building a team like that. You know, we could try out this team and it could have a lot of flaws, maybe it could have a lot of weaknesses. There's 3 psychic weaknesses on this team, for example. Now, there are answers to it on the team, but that's something to keep in mind. So, it's all kind of a process. The thing with Pokemon is it's a pretty well-balanced game to the point of there's not any one team that will always win all the time.
Yeah, anything can happen in Pokemon. Like, you can get critical hitted. Not critical hitted, that's a word.
You can get hit with a critical hit.
Yeah, you can get with a critical hit, and then that'll change the game entirely, especially when you were, like, banking for you to live it, which you probably would have.
Yeah.
Had it not been a crit.
Right, never underestimate the power of hacks in a Pokemon game. Because there's at least as much luck as skill involved in Pokemon. So you do everything you can to put the odds in your favor, but in the end, it'll probably come down to luck in certain circumstances. Even if you make every correct play, if you have the best possible team against your opponent's team, there could still be a factor of luck that goes against you.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, so with that being done, I guess this concludes the team building guide, unless we come up with a 3rd addition to the team building guide. I don't know what else we might have to say about it, but for now, that's gonna do it. If you like this video, go ahead and leave a like. Also, go ahead and leave a comment if you have any other topics you'd like to see covered on How to Competitive. Let me know. We'll try to put something together. Also, subscribe, of course. Also, thank you very much to SirAkihiro. If you'd like to hear more of his voice and more of his entertainment, don't forget to check out my streams on Twitch. The link to my Twitch is in the description, and I try to stream about once a week, sometimes twice a week, depending on my schedule. But if you want to know when I'm going to stream, it will be good for you to join my Discord server. Link to that is also in the description, and I give announcements every week. If I'm planning on streaming, I let you guys know usually the day before or day of, and so you can keep up to date with me on that. And thank you again, SirAkihiro, for joining. Do you have anything to say to sign off?
Join our Discord. I have memes. I have mental breakdowns.
The Discord server. The Discord server is fun. It's a pretty cool place to socialize and hang out with other viewers and the mods. We have great mods on the Discord server that are also the mods of the Twitch chat. They're all really cool.
We got the champ. We got someone that headbutted his desk. We have what else do we have? We have a Green Lancer.
Right. He puts together the awesome highlights from our Twitch streams for you to check them out, and sometimes they get uploaded onto this channel here on YouTube.
And that's about it.
Yep. All right, guys. Thank you.
Talk a lot about Fire Emblem.
Yeah. Well, we have a thread for non-Pokemon games as well as a Pokemon-only thread. We have a bunch of different threads. We have a fan art thread, which I'd like to see more contributions to. There's some pretty awesome stuff.
I might add a meme thread. Post all my memes in there on a daily basis.
There you go. So definitely join that. Anyway, guys, with that being said, thank you once again so much for watching, and we'll see you, if we continue this, if you have another topic, maybe see you on the next episode of Pokemon Sun and Moon How to Competitive. See you next time.